This topic has come up in the Actors Feedback Forum and other forums on the internet more than once, so I wanted to talk about the teleprompter method for doing self-taped auditions and other recordings for internet usage. There's a great website, and I'll link to it in the description, called zacue.com, Z-A-C-U-E.com. They provide a free online teleprompter that works great. The problem is, if you're using it on your computer monitor and you're also using your webcam to record yourself, just as I am doing right now, how do you use Zacue and place that teleprompter over your webcam camera? It's on the same monitor. How are you going to do that? That doesn't seem possible, right? Wrong. I created this very simple DIY teleprompter for my computer monitor. It simply hooks over the monitor and it takes the image off the monitor screen and it redirects it up through this piece of glass and covers the camera on my monitor. So obviously you need to get your computer monitor up high enough so that the camera is at your eye height for these recordings. I have my computer set up to do just that. I've raised it up so that my webcam is at my eye height when I am seated like this. So I can record self-taped auditions or other things for the internet, YouTube videos and whatnot, by looking into my webcam and it's at my eye height. If you can arrange your computer monitor to do that, or your laptop could work also, then using your monitor's camera, built-in camera, and this little simple DIY device, you can place the text from zacue.com directly over your webcam camera, which is located at the top of your monitor screen. Now, if your webcam is somewhere else, this probably isn't going to work. If you have a removable webcam, one of those little webcams that just hooks onto your monitor, kind of like this guy here, kind of like this little webcam here, I don't think that my DIY system will work for this, but you could come up with another DIY system that would. So perhaps my idea will work for you, just with a slightly different MacGyverism. Now, some of the actors I've mentioned this to are like, I could never build something like that. It looks so complex and complicated and hard to build. It really isn't. I think it's less than $1 for a sheet of this foam core, which is just, it's styrofoam with paper on the outside. So it doesn't have to be a fancy piece of wood or metal. It could just be cheap foam core. And then I bought one of these really super cheap little mirrors from the 5 and dime store. I think I went to Five Below. You could get them anywhere. And that was a few bucks. I used a #1 grip clamp. So one of these little clamps. But you don't necessarily need a clamp to hold it on. You could tape it on there or whatever. But a clamp is easy because I can move it if I have to. And then this piece of glass is nothing more than the glass from a tiny 5x7 photo frame that I bought for a few bucks. I spent a couple bucks on this thing, tops. And then I just cut the foam core into this box shape and I glued it together at the corners. And I made a little reinforcement for it at the bottom. And I built this little track inside here to slide the glass in at an angle. So the glass just slides in there, and then I taped it into position with some black tape, and I covered up the top so no light could get through. And on the back of this little thing, I built another little shroud right here, which is just foam core glued in there, with a little bit of a tape flap, so that when it sits on the monitor, it blocks the light. The secret is to keep the light out of this little compartment you're building for your webcam. The way a teleprompter works is there's a shroud over the camera and the lens, and then a piece of glass sits inside that shroud. And because there's no light hitting that piece of glass, it becomes very reflective, but also very transparent. And that's how it works. So the glass sits right over the camera, and the camera looks through the glass, and the mirror reflects the text from the monitor below the camera up into the glass that's in front of your webcam, and you can see the text, but the camera can't. It's kind of magical, really. So the camera looks right through that text as if it isn't there, and you can read it as it's scrolling right over the camera lens. The trick to using ZQ on the web is that ZQ allows you to flip your text so that the mirror reverses it back to normal again. So this is a simple little workaround, and you could just experiment with this, and figure it out for yourself. It's the simplest little thing. It's not as complex as you think it is. If you ever did any crafts in kindergarten or elementary school, and you ever used glue and paper, and you glued stuff together, you can do this. You're just building a little box that fits over your monitor, and this doesn't have to be perfect. As long as the webcam can look through the glass and see you, you'll be able to do teleprompter on your webcam, on your computer monitor using your built-in camera. And this comes in super handy. I use it all the time. So something to consider if you want to do your own DIY teleprompter and you get your last minute rush self-taped audition that's due in an hour and they give you 4 pages of text. How are you going to memorize all that? You cannot. And if it's one of those auditions that requires you to spike the camera lens, for example, you're playing a newscaster, or your character breaks the fourth wall, or whatever it is, and they're asking you to spike the camera lens when you do this audition, that's not easy to do because you have to look right into the camera, so you can't look at your script over here. You need to look at it right over the camera. That little trick will help you. The DIY teleprompter device will put that text right over your webcam for you so that you can do those kinds of self-taped auditions or other kinds of videos where you need to read text into the camera. And it's a quick, simple workaround. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions about how to put it together, you can leave me a comment. I'll be happy to answer you. But I think that you could probably figure it out. It's not too complicated. You're going to have a angled piece of glass in front of your webcam. You're going to have an angled mirror that matches it below, bouncing that text up into the glass so that you can see it as you do your self-taped audition. All right, good luck to you. And if you make one, let me know what it looks like and how it came out and if it's working for you. I'd be curious to see your DIY teleprompters. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel. And remember, if you want to join a bunch of your fellow actors who are serious and dedicated and will motivate you to keep doing the work, please visit actorsfeedbackforum.com. Link in the description. See you next video.